evening, Grizzlies, and welcome back to the Bear Facts, the show that proves you don't need a full panel to cause chaos, just the right combination of personalities. Tonight we've got the trio of beautiful madness. Johnny, the man who claims he's calm and collected, but somehow starts an argument with himself before every episode. Todd, who insists he's the sensible one, despite being the only bloke who can derail a segment with a single eyebrow raise. And Rajni, the brains of the operation, the voice of reason, and the only one here who actually reads the run sheet. Strap in, folks. It's footy, it's fun, it's guaranteed to go off the rails in under 5 minutes. So let's get into it. Here's Rogie.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Bear Facts. Firstly, I'd like to apologise for not having Mark on with us tonight. He had a family emergency, but he will be back within a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, follow our socials so you can keep up to date with everything we do. And I'd like to invite Johnny and Todd.
Hey, Rajni. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Rajni. Hey, Johnny. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Very good. Refreshed.
Refreshed after that break you had. So I'd like to start with a few questions first. So, Todd, if you had to choose between cheering between Melbourne Storm and Manly, who would you pick?
Melbourne Storm, hands down. Easily.
For sure.
I've always liked the players Melbourne have had, like top quality, Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk. Yeah, just quality players, and I've just never liked Manly, sorry.
I was going to ask who your favourite players were, but I think you already gave us your player list. Johnny, what about you? First games in Vegas are coming up. Who do you think is going to win, the Knights or the Cowboys?
Wow, that's a bit of a potential poo-slinging match with the way both sides completed their 2025 season. I think the Knights might have better defensive resolve to hold out the Cowboys, who are a good attacking team. So I'm going to say, on a gut feel, the Knights.
The Knights? All right. Todd, Vegas game, Doggies and Dragons, who do you think?
I have to go Doggies, just because the lineup on paper, really. That's the only thing. Yeah, just looking at their lineup on paper, that's all. And, if you go by last season, just the Bulldogs can't make up until halfway through the season when everyone knows what happens. But, just too much firepower.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny, this is a question from Paul. If you were to be locked up in a prison cell for going too hard celebrating the Bears' first win, if you could call any NRL player, past or present, to come bail you out, who would it be and why?
Well, two guys. First and foremost, for their passion, which I'm sure in court will resonate with the jury, Billy Moore. And secondly, Dale Copley, because he's actually a lawyer, ex-Broncos, Titans and Roosters player. So, he graduated on the bar in 2022. I've seen him around Brisbane City a few times. So, shout out to Dale. Hope it's all going well.
Perfect. So, Johnny, we realised there have been some exciting junior games going on around. Could you tell us more about the games?
Yeah, so round one in the junior grade started last weekend. The Tigers up here in Brisbane came close. The Mal Meninga went down 24-20. They showed a bit of resolve. They're just going to get better over time, no doubt, and they'll be there in the finals. I've got no doubt about that. Cyril Connell went down by 6 points, 14-6. Sorry, by 8 points. Can't count there. Again, they showed resolve, and they're just going to grow into the season. And as far as the North Sydney Bears, a great win by the Harold Mats. They played the Storm, so they got over the line, got the Chockies at 20-18. That was a really good game from all accounts. And the SG Bell side, they ended up losing by about 20-odd points, but it was close up until the 50th minute, 60th minute. So, look, none of them got smashed. There's heaps of resolve, and I think the lads on both sides are going to get better as the season goes on.
For sure. Talking about footy and everything, we do have a footy tipping competition going on within the Bear Facts. Could you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so join up and get amongst us and see how good you are at tipping. Now, you might be a tipster that goes, this animal's better than that animal, so clearly they're going to win. And usually those people win the tipping comps, believe it or not. I've seen it so many times over the years, and us renowned experts, Toddy and myself, we're the ones that go through all the analytics and all the data, and we end up coming third, fourth, or fifth in these tipping comps historically. Look, yeah, get involved, get amongst the community. We want to build something that's immersed with everyone, coast to coast. The more people from WA they get on it, again, it's a good segue to 2027. The Bear Facts. Get on the webpage, get on the socials. It'll show you where to go and join up. Look forward to seeing you all in the tipping comp. Possibly taking my money if we're putting money on it.
Yeah,
a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, also we've got new player signings. We just saw in the media. Todd, could you tell us more about that? About Paynehouse going to the Rabbitohs, and then us losing Tino. Do you have any more info on that?
Yeah, Paynehouse, that was just out of the blue. That was like, sometimes I think we should have tried harder to try and get him, but obviously he knows Wayne Bennett. And he's good friends with David Fafita, and he's, I look back now and a lot of Broncos fans were saying, like, he'll never leave Brisbane, like his family's up here, he's got to look after his, younger brothers, siblings and that, and they were sworn he'd never leave, and then all of a sudden, bang, he's off to a Rabbitohs in 27. So I don't know how they're going to fit him under the salary cap, but I know, Keon's leaving for St George, and there's been murmurs that Cody Walker could be retiring, but if you're Cody Walker and Paynehouse is going to the Rabbits, you'd play for nothing, wouldn't you? You might get that big send-off at the end of 27. Because that lineup with Latrell Mitchell, Jack Walton, Cody Walker, Geyer, Brandon Smith, Tallis Duncan, Cameron Murray, you can just keep going. Yeah. Alex Johnson, if he's still there, he'll break the try scoring record this year. He should have. Ken Irvine, Mighty Bear. So it's just on paper, it's a huge team. And we've absolutely. I was absolutely shattered. As you've noticed, since day one, I've been all Tino this and Tino that. Yeah. And anyway, he's stuck to what he's comfortable with. Yeah. Well, he's just stuck with what he's comfortable with, I think. Like, he's got a new coach in Josh Hannay. I don't know how much that'll turn him around, but they've lost Brian Kelly and Campiera, so and David Fafita as well, even though he didn't play, take much on the field last season. But they've had a few losses, and I think they've probably only signed like Lachlan Ilias, and I can't think of any other big names that have gone to the Titans. So it's going to be, I don't know if they can turn it around, or passion can only take you so far. So yeah,
John. Yeah, exactly. Johnny, who do you think the Bears are going to try and recruit after the loss?
Well, 2 props, 2 mids. The next best mid on the market that hasn't re-signed is obviously Australian international and soon to be New South Wales representative player, premiership winner, 2 prems, Lindsay Smith from the Panthers, which I want to, if Mark was here today, hope all is well there. I want to really to dive deep into his thoughts. But look, I think Lindsay Smith's stocks have now risen. I hope Mal and the team are there chatting to him, trying to get him over. Mal did give him his first representative jersey, and it's a good lure to come here and be the spearhead of the forward pack. He could definitely do that for us, but geez, we got a challenge up our sleeve if Panthers want to retain him, and now Broncos are suddenly in the market with $1.2 million to spend on a mid if they go down that route. Outside of that, there's a couple other mids, if we're just talking about mids, that we should probably be looking at. Sam Hughes from the Dogs, he's beginning to reps up under Serraldo. Good system, very young, as in relatively young. His best years are definitely in front of him. He played pretty well last week, actually, in that trial. And outside of that, Adam Mariotta from the Raiders, I mean, he's a very good prodigal sort of prop who may not get as much game time as he probably would. The Raiders are stacked there in their forward pack. And, yeah, if we could snare those three mids, I think we're sorted, Toddy? Hughes.
Yeah, I hope Liam Henry gets on the phone to Lindsay and and gets in his ear a bit and says, "Come over here with me." That'd be great.
Yeah. So I think today it's been announced we've potentially lost another guy that we were looking at per reports. Owen Trout from the Leopards. I think he's signed on to the Sharkies. He would have been really good. He can play a bit of mid, bit of back row. He's sort of like in Morgan Knowles, who's going to play for the Dolphins this year. People haven't seen much of him.
Owen
They're going to get
signed for 26 or 27.
Morgan.
Owen
Trout's from next year. Yeah, so he's playing at the year this year.
So that could free up some players, Johnny.
It could. It could. Definitely think there's going to be a couple of Sharks. Yeah, definitely think there's going to be a couple of Sharks heading our way. There's 15 off contract. You talked about South before. Mate, there's 22 players off contract at the end of next year from Souths alone. A lot of talent. And at this year, they're probably their best talent that's still not resigned is Jamie Humphries. I saw an article today that Souths are going to offer him something. But if it's money, we could possibly definitely outbid Souths. But, the Wayne Bennett factor, how much does that carry? A lot, obviously, with us coming there and Mafita. So, look, we'll be in the hunt for a few players for sure. And, if we can jag a few of these other guys. I heard we were potentially looking at another forward from Leeds.
The Polish guy.
Yeah, he's tough as all. Yeah, someone. I asked someone who knows the English game pretty well and also the Aussie game. They said, "Who can you compare him to?" And he said, "He's like a bigger version of Luke O'Donnell." And I'm like, sold. Okay. If he really is like that, sold.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see where it lands.
But with Owen Trout, like that could free up Billy Burns. It could free up, Cameron McGuinness has got he's coming near the end of his career. I'm not sure about Nakora. I'm not sure where he stands.
I think Nakora is a priority for Sharks. You know what I mean?
Like, you'd think so,
but McGuinness.
You can't keep him all.
Instant captain. Yeah, McGuinness would be our instant captain. He would just set the trends. He would just get things going. He's that Monday to Thursday afternoon guy that sets all the standards, all the 1%ers that make the overall team great. And then come game day, he'll just be barking orders. He'll be lifting up. He's that confidence guy you see across the dressing room and be like, I want to play for him because he puts in 100%. And if I can limit my mistakes to the amount of teeth he's got left, we're fucking going to win the game. Yeah,
and what you're going to get from him as well. Like, you look at him every match and you just sort of think, this poor guy, he just gives his all. He just leaves nothing in the petrol tank. He's just...
I agree, mate. I agree. And then back on Billy Burns, you said Billy Burns before. Mate, that guy was keeping Brendan Nakora out of the team. I think in that run to the finals, maybe even the first finals game that the Sharkies played last year, that's a big feat. I know Nakora was coming back off injury, but, Billy Burns can play. He's come through, the Panthers system, and that guy's got a lot of talent. I would love for us to have a sniff at him. I was going to ask Mark Guy today about his son, Maverick, as well, who's off contract. It's a one-year deal.
Be interesting with Maverick because, when with Mark's career, he started at Penrith, went to the Tigers, and went across to the Western Reds, Perth Reds. With Maverick, he started at Penrith. This year he's at the West Tigers. He might come across to Perth, following Dad's footsteps.
there's definitely parallels there. He just needs one season at the Central Coast, playing in the Central Coast.
Yeah, with your mind, I haven't done around anymore. Only an open game, I think.
Yeah, mate. Hey, I was also checking the other day about other off contract, just forwards. I think the backs will be easy enough for us to get them. And mate, there's a bunch of back rowers, good back rowers that are off contract. I'll throw you some names here off the top of my head. So you said Billy Burns before. Sean Bloor, Curtis Capewell, Luke Garner, Jack Goweski, Charlie Geimer, Brodie Jones, Luciano, Ryan Madison, give or take, Murata Niokore, Scott Sorensen, Tony Shuka, Talakai, Tuolagi from the Eels, and Sua Wong. They're formidable second rowers. Like any of those pairings, too, obviously you get more experience with like your Sorensens and stuff, but mate, we can jack two or three of those guys.
Sura Wong still available?
He is. He hasn't re-signed for the Roosters. Well, according to Zero Tackle, he hasn't re-signed for the Roosters. I'm sure he will. But then this year might be a bit of a trial for them. When Radley comes back, he might slot into the second row. Connor Watson might play a bit of lock now that they've got Reece Robson. So there's a bit of reshuffling of the decks there and how they 1 to 13 look. And is Sua Wong really a bench player? Maybe, maybe not. I don't think he is. Should be starting. They're pretty stacked there. Yeah, so, but hey, I think a lot of teams will be going for him. You know, I can see the Storm going for him. They were after Cooper Bye. It's very similar to Cooper Bye, really. So, yeah, mate. So there's plenty of talent out there, especially in the props. Hopefully, in the second row, hopefully we jag someone.
Johnny, with the like salary cap and everything, like, you know, do you think it was fair for, like, we're a new team, we're on the other side of Australia, you know, like we're in AFL territory and we're starting from scratch and we're under the same rules as teams who have got established rosters. Do you think it's fair that we're coming in for under the same rules and have to abide by the same rules when, like, all these other NRL teams have got 27, 28 of their 30-man roster filled already, and we've got to start from scratch, and then they can compete with us as well, like for these players on the open market. Like, it's a hard call, very hard call.
Yeah, so I look at it a couple of ways. The first way is maybe the salary cap. I believe the salary cap should be the same, right? Like I'm a believer in it. Everyone gets the same amount. But potentially we could have got more of the club grant. So the salary, for those that don't know, salary cap's around $12 million. The club grant's around 18 to 20 million, and that pays for overheads, other juniors, an assortment of things. I think the overall club grant could have been higher, and that could have been used potentially on property. So we have some place to put up players, so it's not coming out of their money, and there's already establishments there. So once they come over, there's a couple of houses or a couple of units in an apartment block, whatever. You know, we could make it work. The other thing I look at is maybe we should have got leeway as in to be able to sign players before November 1st. So as far back as maybe September 1st or October 1st. Keep in mind we had to assemble the football department, so we needed to do that first anyway. But definitely I think a month leeway into November 1st would have been good, because we could have started bare minimum those negotiations.
And as a fan, like, you look at like the Papua New Guinea Chiefs, like they're getting 600 million. They're getting tax-free payments. You know, like they've got all these incentives for players to go to them, and you sort of think, hey, hello, we're here.
Yeah, so it was from my understanding, what got us across the line, as in Perth Bears across the line, was that the conditions of our license had to be nothing over and above. And the club signed off on it. They just said, we want them to start from net zero at the start of every season. Yes, granted, the clubs already have their rosters, but they have players coming off contract. Like Souths have 22 out of their 30, you know what I mean? Like, is what it is.
It is, but
Yeah,
we had a chance at Ruben Garrick, and I thought we'd get him. And then all of a sudden, the Roosters have come in, bang, and get him. That's it. He's gone to Roosters. And you just sort of think, you know.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Third parties also play a role in that. Like, the Roosters are like one of the best teams with third party deals. Broncos number 1, Storm are up there too. So Perth and the city and the state, hopefully they can get those third parties going, and that potentially might be the difference to getting players that are sort of unsure to locked in, you know.
Yeah, we've got a question here. You go, Johnny.
I'll ask, you answer, mate. Hey, boys, of the players signed to the Bears for next year, who are you looking forward to watching play this year to get you excited for? And that's from Rock Tumbler.
I've been watching a bit of the English trials, actually, the last 2 weeks, and the Catalan Dragons and Toby Sexton. I think he crossed for like 3 tries the other day. And, you know, they are playing against lower level teams at the moment before they do hit the Super League competition, but it's just good seeing them get the kinks out. I think one team the other day won like 104-0, I'm pretty sure. So English.
I think that's Hull KR. I think that's Hull KR playing.
Yeah, it was. You're right.
Yeah.
So, you know, like it was good to, you know, Isaac was there, Tino's brother. He looked like he had a good hit out. So, yeah, so it's good. I'll be keeping an eye on like all the players virtually who have so far and will sign for the Bears. I think with our roster, we'd probably want to have it pretty full by July, August, you'd think. So, because they're going to hit the training paddock on November 1. So, yes, I went out the other day. As you can see, I got some player heads the Bears have signed. Got Josh Curran, Toby Sexton, Liam Henry, Nick Meaney, and Tyrone Wishart. But I made the big mistake. Like, I went out and I thought I've been on his bandwagon since episode 1, and I got this fella. And if there's any Titan, if there's
the
any
commentator's curse
out there, it's
yours.
The
commentator's curse. That is,
yes, I won't be doing.
Yeah,
I won't be doing that again.
You can send him my way. He's still a Queenslander. Yeah, he's still a Queenslander. We'll put him up three times
yours,
a year.
Mate. That's yours. You can play it for the 3 games.
Oh, mate. Hey, did you notice something about Toby Sexton? That caught my eye. He had 6 on his back.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
And
last week he had 7. So this week he had 6. Number 7, it was at the Rabbitohs guy who didn't work out, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. I've sort of, I know who exactly.
One Wayne Bennett didn't like.
Yeah, I know exactly. His name eludes me right now.
Yeah, gave him the bags and said, off you go. Maybe Paul
not that
look
Paul.
up for it.
Yeah, he's getting paid $700,000 plus whatever his Carolina deal is to play over there. So
maybe it was him leaving it freed up Wayne Haas.
Oh, you would have freed up a little bit, eh? They would have, yeah. I'm sure Russell found a few extra pennies under the couch.
I'm sure he did. Russell went.
Yeah, like Sexton with number 6. Look, I didn't watch the whole game, admittedly, but the highlights that I did see, he was doing a lot of running and engaging the line, and he was doing a lot of backup as well. He was backing up with, I think all the tries where he was a backup, and he got the inside pass, and he managed to go away.
But that's the opposition he was up against as well, Johnny. So
yeah. So that's good, because traditionally he's only been seen as a halfback and, a sound organising halfback, but there's always been a running game to him, and there's always been that sort of extra skill set that might not necessarily have been utilised, but it'd be good to see. Paul Young. Yes, he did, mate. He did. He did score 3 tries, a hat-trick. Don't know if it was his first game or his second game. I think it was his second game.
Second game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, mate, players I'll be keeping an eye on, the Panther boy already, Liam Henry. I want to see how he develops further. I think he's going to be really good this year. I think he might be a smoky for New South Wales bench, potentially. They're pretty stocked there as far as mids, but he could be a smoky. I think he's got that mongrel in him. And Tyron Wishart, really interested to see how he's used now with the 6-man bench, even though you can only use 4 of the 6 men, because that utility spot might be, some have reported that it's going to die out. There's no need for that utility spot anymore. You just pick 4 forwards, a back, and a guy that can sort of plug in a spine position as your 6-man bench, then you use the 4 that suit the game environment and how the game's unfolding. So I'd be really interested to see how Tyron Wishart is being used. I've got a funny feeling that Harry Grant will be probably playing 65 minutes or something, and then he'll come on, Tyron Wishart, and he'll do a bit of the dummy half. Potentially share that also with lock position when Loero's having a spell, which might lead into what you have been on since the start, that he would be our dummy half. I've been more on, he's more probably a 5'8", but as the weeks pass, I'm coming across to your side. I think he will be our dummy half.
But he's such a good utility. Like, he can play hooker, halfback, 5'8", and if needed in the backs, and lock, as you said. So he's really good utility to have there. I don't think it'll change much. As you said, it's just how much they get out of the Jerome Users, the Harry Grants, the Cameron Munsters, and who gets injured and that. That's why I think he came to the Perth Bears, because he was looking for that opportunity. And in the papers and everything, hooker has been mentioned. So we'll just have to see who the Bears sign, and that 5'8" or hooker even, and go from there, see where he's suited. But we're pretty lucky. The Bears have signed a fair few players, Nick Meaney as well, who can play multiple positions, and Josh Curran. And it's having players like that who can do the different positions. It's the Bulldogs had it last year, and you saw how it helped the Bulldogs. So
yeah, I agree. Toddy, I've got one for you, and this has just come off the dome. So if it sounds crazy, apologies. Jackson Purdue, 900,000, starting fullback position, very untested, but has an amazingly high ceiling. What do you reckon? Would you do it to get him across?
Well, he's another one who can play multiple positions. I noticed the Cowboys have him penciled in at centre for Vegas, and he can play in the halves, as you said, fullback. So he's another one, and he's been touted as a halves as well a lot of the time. So it just depends, who the Bears have actually got on their radar. Who knows? Maybe they're waiting for Matty Burton to see how Mitchell Woods and Lockie Galvin combine in 2026, or so you just don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Jackson would be a good pickup for sure.
Yeah,
certainly quick.
Yeah, I would probably, maybe 900 is a bit too high, but 700, 750, I would probably offer him that, because I think he has as much potential to be that face fullback as what Hammer does and was when he first went to the Dolphins. People have to remember Hammer was relatively an unknown player when the Dolphins signed him. He played a couple of games here and there in the center's wing, a couple off the bench. I think Jackson Purdue is just, I don't know, I just see him as that guy. He almost reminds me a bit of early Jack Wyden. You remember early Jack Wyden that would play he could play fullback, and he was quick and nimble, but he had a solid frame to him, and he had that ball playing awareness that made him, eventually a 5'8", and he could play centre. He's actually, I think it's actually a pretty astute comparison. Yeah, I did hear today or read today that, you know, Connor Tracy and Trey Fuller are also potentially on the radar. I don't know how true that is. Great. You're not going to get let down by Connor Tracy. And Trey Fuller, like, gee whiz, he's so elusive. He can be anything on his day. And he's not too bad defensively either. What do you reckon of those two blokes, mate?
Well, another fullback who's on the who's been said to be on the radar, who could be available, is Will Kennedy at the Sharks as well. So I remember Connor Tracy. I saw him years ago playing for Newtown, the feeder club at the time, for and still the feeder for the Sharks, and he used to watch him, and I basically playing well, and he did have Will in front of him, but he just always caught my eye, and then he went to the Bulldogs for that opportunity because he obviously couldn't get past Will Kennedy, and has made that fullback position his own. So, yeah, so there is a handful of fullbacks out there that are available for the Bears to go after, which is good for the Bears. Like, you know, it just depends who they put on their radar. Like, it's like hookers. There's so many hookers coming available as well by the looks of it. So,
yeah,
you know, it's just interesting.
Yeah, definitely. If we haven't already touched base, what do you think of the North Sydney Bears trial versus Penrith?
You want to answer that one, Toddy?
Yeah, well, I spoke to a few Bears officials over the weekend, and they were very happy with the hit out. Like, it's going to be a hard year for the Bears because they haven't got an NRL feeder club this season. So, like, the last 2 seasons, Melbourne have dropped back, like, they drop back like 2 or 3 players most weekends. So, you know, this year the Bears are going it alone. So they've got the core squad virtually. We're going to the New South Wales Cup opening in a few weeks for the Bears season launch. So that'll be good just to see who's there and that. But they've kept a majority of last year's roster, I noticed. You know, they've got a very stable roster. So, you know, like when it came to semi-final times, when we were aligned with teams like South Sydney and the Roosters, like we never saw those players virtually take the field for us. And the Melbourne Storm, that first week of the NRL finals, they were the same. Like, they don't like giving out their players for that first week of the NRL finals, so the Bears had to rely on their own. And then in that grand final against, you know, North Sydney Bears played in grand finals, consecutive grand finals, one against South Sydney and then Newtown the following year. They missed out in 2025, but yeah, like they had like 4 or 5 Storm players come in and take the field, and I have to admit the worst players on the field were those Storm players because they hadn't gelled during that finals period, and you know, like the fullback, Fayalago, is it? Like he,
Fayalago.
Yeah, like even though he's flary and that, I think he knocked on about 3 kickoffs, which gave Newtown prime position, and Newtown scored off the next set, and Bronson Garlick made a few mistakes, and yeah, you just sort of looked at it and thought, okay, they're NRL players, but do they have a right to come in and push players out of the way who've done the job, you know, all season for that New South Wales Cup side? You know, it's like a catch-22, isn't it? Like, I don't know if it's a rule that they've got to play or...
Yeah, I don't know if it's a rule. I think it was more so like potentially Bellamy or Frank Benisi said, hey, we want our boys to play. It's like, you know, and that's just what I think. I don't know if it's true, but if those 2 fellas say, hey, then you kind of just do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
they've got a list.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. And I get it. Like, I watched the game, the one you're alluding to, 2024 GF, and yeah, you could see the disconnectivity between the team, and you could tell, you know, who had been training and getting the reps between each other, winger, centre, second row, and then you had another edge that hadn't a few tries scored down that edge. And yeah, I mean, on the North Sydney Bears, though, you're right. A lot of the boys have decided to re-sign this year, and kudos to them because they know they're probably not going to play NRL unless they get a contract mid-year from somewhere, a team's injury ravaged, or they've shown heaps of promise, and some team that's got a place in their top 30 be like, we need this guy right now. So that's a good faith shown by them, because the doorway opens November 1st this year. And
definitely. Gives them that opportunity too to strive during the 2026 season with the Bears. Hopefully they'll be thinking Ben Gardner. Like, Ben Gardner used to coach for North Sydney side a few years back. So he's got that connection there. And they'll be hoping that Mal comes along and sees a few games, and, you know, a few of these players might be able to force their way in, like Kobe Thomas, the lock. He's a good player. Jaden Yates, I heard, played the hooker, played really good on the weekend. Kieran Heyman, like, that guy never misses a goal. Riley Main in the second row, like, they have got a good squad. So
yeah, and also for the Tigers as well, not just for the Bears, but there's a lot of lads that, you know, could have potentially gone to these other Queensland affiliated NRL Cup teams. The Tigers obviously with the Bears now, and just want to shout out to Jim Lenihan. He's the new Tigers coach, so he actually worked with Mal at the Titans the last couple of years. So there's a connection there happening. Yeah, he's the head coach of the Tigers Q Cup team. There's a nice piece article written on him on the QRL site. People want to go check that out. So,
and they've had a big roster change this year as well, the Brisbane Tigers. Huge roster change.
They have, because, you know, same reasons as, you know, not so much same reason as the Bears, but they don't have that NRL pathway. And it'd be pretty hard for them particularly, because they've got these clubs right around them that are powerhouses. Dolphins not so much, but the Broncos are like, you know, 10 Ks away. So, yeah.
I quickly want to bring up how, unfortunately, we can have Mark on tonight. Could you tell us who we're going to have next week?
Do you want to go, Toddy?
Mark Graham, Sharko, is it, next week? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mark Graham, North Sydney Bears legend. What can you say? He was a prime second rower in the 80s. Always led from the front. Whenever you thought of the New Zealand Test team, it was always Mark Graham, Olsen Filippano, who was with the Tigers and later the Bears, and the Sorensen brothers, Dane and Kurt. So, yeah, he's always been like a real gun player, Mark Graham. I think he came from Brisbane Norths and came down and signed with North Sydney. And, yeah, he's also got a documentary out called Sharko. We'll plug that. So, get to see it.
A good doco.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
I think it's on 9 now. For those that haven't watched it. It's a good doco.
Yeah, and that's I think it was produced by his son, actually. So
yeah, his son's got some talent behind the camera lens, that's for sure. Looking forward to seeing more of his stuff, actually. So.
No, it'd be good. Yeah, he's always one of my favourite players watching whenever he ran out for the Bears, and just a powerhouse in that era, like the tough era. Like, yeah, like he never took a backward step, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to having a few.
I was going to say, back when 6 agains were 6 more hits across the chops. That's what 6 agains meant.
Back when today's sin bins weren't even looked at. So
No.
Yeah.
I definitely think that will be a very interesting interview that we'll have with him next week. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about? Any upcoming games? I do know that the All-Stars is coming up on Sunday, if you had any input on that one. The team list did drop out just this week. Last week, team list for All-Stars.
The team list dropped out, and then half the team dropped out by what I saw.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing about the All-Stars. Like, I do watch it, and I like watching it, and I like seeing the background to it all and all of that. But just the players just keep pulling out all the time. Like, it's just not consistent. Like,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of them just pull out. It's good to see Nico Hines as captain of the Indigenous side. Like, I think he deserves it, and he'll lead them well.
Yeah. I was looking, the NRL put out team list. Jesse Arthurs was the face of the team, and I was like, okay, let's look at the team list. He's 18th, 19th man, and I'm like, what? Like, he needs to play.
They use that.
It's like last year.
With that All-Stars concept, Rojni, like, they use the whole, like, every NRL team, I think, it used to have to be represented once. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore. But, that whole, even 19, 20 players, they all get used. They do, so.
Yeah.
So
I hope so. I really want to see
it. I don't know how he feels about playing in that game as opposed to missing out on the flight to the World Club Challenge to play against Wigan. So,
something happening there. Eh? He's been leapfrogged by Karapani, and Grant Anderson's there now, and Mal, get on the blower, get him over. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
Didn't Billy Slater pick him last year, or was going to pick him?
Yeah. He's a good player. Like in the 2023 Grand Final, Panthers Broncos, he was one of Broncos' best. It was him, Herbie. They're probably the two best players for the Broncos that night. And Jesse Arthurs was really, really good that night. Just also, for those that don't know, New South Wales Cup, SG Ball, Harold Matts, Tasha Gale, and Lisa Viola Cups have started. This weekend, the Bears play Manly. So if you're in Sydney, get up there, support the Bears against the arch rivals at 4 Pines. Hope the boys and the gals smash Manly so bad that they forfeit the next time they play us. And the NRL trials, it's weekend 2, so there's 8 games. There is 8 games of footy. Thursday to Sunday. How good! And some teams are playing some pretty good, strong teams, sides as well. Good lineups. Those Vegas teams are pretty much full strength. So, yeah.
And what about the World Club Challenge, Johnny?
Well, I hope Broncos lose, because if they win, I already know my mates are going to be like, Broncos can do it. Broncos did it, but the Panthers couldn't, and I don't need that sort of torment when I've been riding.
Do you think the Panthers took it serious, but?
I think they mentally took it seriously, but I don't think physically they were in the groove yet to play, as in, like, they weren't match fit. They hadn't even played any games before that. Not even a scrummage.
Well, that's right. Like, you look at the English teams, and they usually have like a few trials under their belt and at least one competition game. Whereas when the Aussie teams take the field, like, I know the Roosters took it seriously a few years ago and had a warm-up game, but not many teams do that. And I think they go in underdone, and it's a shame, because I can't stand the Pommies having anything over us. I like beating the English more than anything in cricket, rugby league, union.
I think if it's the big sides, like if they're playing Leeds, St Helens, Wigan, it'd be like, get up there, Broncos, and do what you do. But I don't know, being Hull KR, who are like, what would they be the equivalent in NRL? The Sharkies, maybe? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're not a super team, but they've had a super year. Like, it'd just be pretty cool. And there's some good Aussies in that team, good Aussie coach as well, Willie Peters. So, yeah, I'm going to actually go for LKR. I hope they beat the Broncos, though.
A lot of the players in
I'm in Brisbane, so that's saying something. Yeah.
A lot of the players in that whole KR team were like regarded as past their prime in the NRL or couldn't make a starting side and that, and then they seem to go to England and they win the Man of Steel award, and they, and they just go to another level in that competition. But then we play them in this World Club Challenge, and as we get done.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's hard to judge.
Yeah. Well, we all know who I'll be going for. I'll be up at 3 a.m. in my jacket and all. I just hope that it's worth getting up that early for.
I'll be going for the Broncos, but
Yes. 2 against 1, Johnny.
Because they're an Australian team.
Two against one. I'm the one in Broncos territory.
Exactly.
Well and truly. Rub shoulders with a few of the actual Broncos as well.
Yeah.
So no, it's all in good fun. They know where I'm coming from. If they get up, great. But
you can always switch halfway.
That's right. Hey, Toddy, give us one thing. What is your random wild prediction for this year? What do you reckon? One prediction that you think's going to happen? Like, it could be a ladder position, it could be a team coming out of nowhere, it could be a premier, it could be Daily M. Just something out of the norm. What's one wild thing you think's going to happen?
I think the Raiders will drop down a notch without having Jamal there, without his guidance. I think they'll.
That's a good one.
I don't know whether they'll drop out of the 8, but he's a huge loss going to Manly. And their side was just looking whether they call up Kobe Black, who they got from the Broncos. He might be an option. But he's a huge loss, Jamal Fugger. And I think a team to look for, if they're fully fit and there's no injuries, is the Dolphins. I reckon the Dolphins have got such a awesome roster. They've got great backs, solid forwards, and I just think to let go of that young bloke to Brisbane, like that second rower, he's made the World Cup squad.
Oblix, yeah.
Well, Oblix, straight into the grand final winning Broncos squad to go to the World Club Challenge. And, they have got a abundance of talent, the Dolphins, and I'm looking forward to watching them play at full strength. Like, every time they've took the field last year, like, they always had someone out. Like, Flegler's back now. You got Farnworth back. Like, they were like, the hammer was on. He's about to get the leading try scoring record, and then he did his hamstring in that game. Like, he would have overtaken Mark Alphabet. It's just crazy. Like, he was on his way to get that leading try scoring record for last season, and then he injured himself. So, yeah. But the Dolphins are my pick to Smokey to really challenge a competition this year. And what is it, their 4th season?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It seems like they've been around for ages. It's only their 4th. Well, technically,
I like watching them.
Their 80th, 85th season, but it is their 4th season.
They're a great team to watch. They're just entertaining. I like them.
Yeah, that's a good take, mate. I like those 2 takes. Good.
That's a good one. What about you, Johnny? What's your crazy prediction?
I think if they're unfit, Penrith win the premiership again. Yeah.
Okay.
Comes down to how they start, though, because they can't start like they did last year, because now teams will know that if they start crap, what they can expect, and they'll be able to counter that. If they start strong, I think they got the hardest draw too. I think it was based on metrics and analytics, and their draw is super hard. Plus, they don't have a home ground, and I just want to see a team with no home ground just – I don't know. I just love what they're doing. I think Nathan Cleary champions Origin finally, and all those naysayers for whatever reason get off his back. I think he gets Daily M. And I think Selwyn Cobbo might become a Bear. That's just a gut feel. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but that 1 year deal. he said he might go back to Brisbane, but they don't need backs. Yeah, I don't know. That's just I hope it happens. We'll see.
Yeah. Who do you think Penrith might verse in the grand final? Another Penrith.
Probably Roosters. Even though I
Okay.
don't, Roosters, if they can catch that lightning in a bottle in that one in this year with DCE there and make everything click, it's really hard to beat. I think people are sleeping on them a little bit, but that's if everything goes well for them. The other random, left field is I think Tigers. They just missed the 8, but they come 9th. I think they're going to be pipping at the heels of the top 8, and they vastly improve again. Maybe next year they'll hit the 8, but they're on their way.
Yeah, well, let's hope. I'm going to say a back-to-back for the Broncos, but we'll see. I'm only going to be very hopeful.
Then Payne has a winner to South Sydney.
Oh, maybe. But, yeah. Well, even though we didn't have our guest interviewee here today, it's been a very eventful interview. We've had some great topics, great conversations, great predictions. Before we do head off, I want to plug in our team supporter cheer team that I will be hosting. Hopefully that's in frame. So this team, we are actually going to be a media team that goes out to rugby events, local community events, basically trying to get the rugby community a bit more energetic within Perth. We're going to have hopefully a few dancers, a few people who can come out on the streets, do some interviews with us as well. So we've got a lot of positions open. We do have trials from April 13th to April 29th this year. I want to build a team, a strong bond between everybody before we start heading out. You don't have to be a professional dancer or anything, as I will be, helping you and training and everybody. It's a great opportunity. It's every Monday and Wednesday morning, and then every game day, which everyone will get told about a week in advance. But yeah, I think it's a great opportunity if you've got some extra drive in you to do something extra every week. We do have all this information on our social media, and we have a website that you can go to, rubies.dance, to get even more information on this one. So hopefully, whoever's watching, we can build a team soon and get out on the field, get out on the streets and get some good interviews. So yeah, I think that's, hopefully we can get it, going.
Were you being red and black, or what will your colours be?
Yeah, definitely. We're still in the making of uniforms and everything, but it's definitely got to be red, black with a little bit of gold. We always have to have some glitter in there. And then, so it's just going to be fun. I'm looking for just 20 girls and boys, just, to bring some energy to, an everyday game. So, yeah.
Excellent.
I got the perfect weekend for you to kick off too.
Yeah,
well, it's actually earlier. It's actually earlier than your time frame, but March 21st and 22nd, the trials for the NRL WA, that's the seniors competition kickoff, and their season proper starts on Sunday, April 12th. So all you Western Australians that love your rugby league, those are
perfect. I think I'll head out, and I can also ask people if you're heading out there. Come up to me and I can give you more information. We'll have some flyers and all that. So yeah, I think that is all from us tonight, but it's been a very good interview. Get ready, tune in for next week's interview, and head to our socials for more. Thanks for joining us.
I just want to say all the best. I hope Mark and his family, everything's all right there, and just they're in our thoughts, and hope everything comes good there for them. So
Definitely. We missed him tonight, but we hope everything's going just smoothly.
yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
thanks for joining us tonight, even though one less person.
And go to Bears.